Good morning everyone. A bitterly cold day up in Denbigh in North Wales today. On the plus side, my winter barley is looking really well. We have had a lot of rain overnight, so there is a little bit of standing water here and there. Nothing too severe on this patch, but I would guess down beyond those houses over there will be quite a bit of standing water, I would guess. Up on the tops, you just about see now where the snow has just sort of half landed. From here on towards the sea, that way we're nice and clean. The further along the mountains we get, we have got a little bit of snow. Nothing severe, I don't think. So I thought I'd show you around a few bits of my machinery. Let's start off with the 996. So this is my yard tractor. This old girl doesn't really leave the yard, and she gets used for lifting, shifting and all that type of stuff. So we've got a pretty standard 1976, I think, David Brown 996. Nothing out of this world at all. Fitted with a David Brown power loader. I managed to source a pair of rams which have got a hose going to either end, so it powers up and down. We've got a power loader, and on the front we've got a very homemade set of pallet forks. Again, this tractor is not going to win any beauty awards at all, but it'll do for lifting and shifting around the yard. I don't like to see it outside. However, top tip, when you do leave it outside, put a beans tin over the exhaust cap. It'll stop all that water going in, ruining the engine. On the back of it, we have got the David Brown, what was known as the ditcher digger loader. This is a backhoe loader. We've got a selection of buckets for it. At the minute, we've got the 2-inch digging bucket. Don't get your hopes up about this. It's really just a collection of oil leaks and stuff and pin slop. However, it beats the hell out of doing it with a shovel or a spade. It beats the hell out of digging with a spade. Just so you've got an idea, the seat on there is fairly tired. We've got controls there, so we've got a bank of levers. Nothing out the ordinary at all. It's mounted on a subframe. It's not mounted on the arms of a tractor. It's mounted on the subframe, which is that bar there, and this piece of box section that comes all the way to here. Rather than being mounted on the arms, it is an integral part now of the chassis of the tractor. I'm told back in the day it was the best of the bunch compared to McConnell, Foster and all them. But it is a real poor equivalent to something like a JCB 3C or the like back then. However, the cost would have been massively different. As I say, homemade set of pallet forks, robbed off a McConnell back-end forklift. I bought that Ornay tractor once and I kept this, welded a few brackets and stuff to it, and I use it now on the front of this old Warrior. As I say, never going to win a beauty award. However, it starts every time, and it's a real handy thing to have around the yard. I use this generally, lifting, shifting. The only time it goes out is that backhoe loader. It'll do a little bit of digging for me, emptying muck heaps or digging the occasional hole to do something. But it doesn't really see the light of day outside the yard very much. Okay, so a very quick tour of the back of the shed. We've got a 1210 there, which is in 1,000 bits. That was bought as a complete scrapper. I'm robbing bits off it as we go. That is probably going to end up meeting its maker when scrap price comes up to something, or I'll sell it. I'm loath to sell the things really to scrap. There will be bits on there that people can use, so it'll probably end up on eBay or something, but not just yet. Random pile of firewood that ended up here somehow. And we've got the big rotavator. This was bought on eBay. This was an eBay purchase. I'd like to find a nicer, tidier one. However, for the amount of work I do with it, this is fine, really. Sat in the nettles there, we've got an old Cambridge roller. That's a bit of a project. I'm halfway through doing something with that, with the new Cambridge roller in inverted commas that I've got. Undercover, we've got this old thing. Here is my rear discharge muck spreader. The much maligned, much laughed at rear discharge muck spreader. That thing there holds about a wheelbarrow's full of muck compared to today's muck spreaders, doesn't it? However, the work I do with it, this suits brilliantly. So I muck out a few horse yards, some very small farms with awkward yards. It hardly takes a load compared to today, does it? You could scrape off the beaters of these new modern ones and fill that. However, a lot of the modern ones, where I go with this, you probably couldn't reach into it to fill it, or you couldn't turn around in the yard or whatever. So yes, pathetically small by today's standards, but it works really well. It's one of those things I really enjoy using, but equally it's terrifying, because if you've used bits of this, machines like this, you will see and you will know that these bed chains can be absolute monsters when they go wrong. So you are always constantly looking to make sure that these two bed chains and these slats all the way along are running absolutely true and parallel. As soon as we get a big problems here, it is real game over. It's jump in the box and start to fork it out. We don't want to be doing that, do we? Here we've got, slatted outside, we've got the Fergie trailer, which I use for stuff. The floor on this is, as you can tell, is pretty finished. I bought it in this condition. I carry a little bit of muck about with this. So I've got a few customers that after Christmas want a couple loads of muck for the garden. I'll pile it up on here, trundle it down the road and tip it on their drive. That's generally what I do with this. Every now and again, I will put a bag of fert or a bag of seed on it, but generally it is just a kick around trailer. Again, I'd swap this. If I found something nice and decent at the right price, this could go in the local collective sale and I would get rid of it. I'm told it is a Fergie industrial trailer. Now, Fergie enthusiasts amongst us will know. See, there, where are we? There it is. We've got leaf springs on the trailer. They don't really work. I don't think they do much. But I'm told it is a industrial council working Fergie trailer. On to ploughs. So here is the big Dowdswell plough, which I've shown you in work more than once. So we've got the 5-furrow DP8B. I'm loath to see this outside. However, we have put a bit of oil on the boards and so far we're not getting any rust, so it'll do for now. And if I carry on, squeeze past here, the belly will allow it. There we go. This is my father's Lempkin plough. My dad bought this brand new back in 1984, I think. It doesn't do as much for me these days. I'm either out with the big conventional, the 4-furrow conventional, or out with the 5-furrow reversible. So this doesn't do as much, but for my father over the years, this has ploughed thousands upon thousands of acres. Dad has ploughed a lot with this. Later on, my dad and I fitted a front furrow hydraulic adjustment on there. So now with spools from the cab, we can adjust the front furrow rather than having to jump off and get your spanners out. And it is a real good plough. When this is ploughing, this is a real tidy plough. If this gets in the right sort of land, it does a real good job. We've got discs on all coulters. My dad saw this in the World Ploughing Contest in Horncastle in Lincolnshire in 1984. Apparently it was an absolute mudbath, and he saw it as a 2-furrow version, so he was only up to there. He sort of half fell in love with it, so seeing it would work there. He bought it from our local Burgess, who put the 3rd furrow on it, and he went straight to work that winter, and it did a bit of ploughing for him, and it's been here ever since. If you want an idea of how much it's ploughed, we've got to that sort of state at the back. They are razor sharp and chipping away. The people who know what ploughing is would tell you, if I can just get round to here, move this pallet out the way. The people who know what ploughing is will tell you that plough bodies don't plough properly until they are worn out. They're like a pair of shoes. They don't fit you properly until they are virtually worn out. But yeah, it's done loads of work over the time. These are C40. These were known as C40 bodies, and in the day they were the match plough version of body that Lemkin offered. So, okay, let's have a quick turnaround in the middle of the shed here. So, obviously, we've got the 996, which we've talked about there. We've got the 10-foot triple K type cultivator. I think this is a record cultivator. It's not actually a triple K. It is a cheap triple K knockoff. But for what I do with it, I'm really happy with it. It's got the big wide spring, so you can go into stubble and pull that up without any real worries. Used behind anything from the 1390 up to the 2290. In the front there, we've got a set of grass harrows, the little tiddly grass harrows, which I've sold. They're waiting to be collected or delivered. We'll see where we get to. And here I've got the new to me grass harrows. So these are a 4-meter set of, who made them? I can't just remember. Agri-Trend, that's them. So we've got the reversible tines. So we've got the little teeth pointing down at the minute. If we wanted to turn the mat round and put the big teeth, if we were really pulling some big old thatch out or something. So that'll be back on the tractor in spring, levelling out a few horsey paddocks and general grassland. Coming around this way, we've got a little bit of grassland machinery. So we've got the Kuhn 4-rotor tedder, which I bought new 4 years ago. Desperately in need of a wash and a blowdown. However, it is largely in the dry here, so I'm not too fussed. We will sort it out this winter, no doubt. We've got the hay bob, which is brilliant. This is my hay bob 360, and I absolutely love this. For little baler work, this is absolutely superb. No doubt there will be some videos of this when it's out in action in the field. In the corner there, we've got the Accord Optima 4-row maze drill. Let me just squeeze past, see if I can get to it. And this was bought this year. I'd acquired a maize drilling job, so we sowed about 55-60 acres with this. It's only a 4-row, so you can see 4 boxes at the back. It's only a 4-row, but for what I want, it does absolutely superbly fine. The customers are very happy with what I've done. Everything has grown after me, so that's all you want really, and it's worked okay. So it's in here in the dry until May next year. Again, somebody has worn the newness off it. It's not a new thing by any stretch, but it seems to work, and that'll do fine. Moving on to a different type of drill. This is my father's old Wartzilla Finnish-made combine drill. So people watching this might not remember a combine drill. What this effectively is a grain drill, but it has 2 hoppers. Now, this really fell out of fashion recently. However, in recent times, I noticed Cultivators have started making a drill with 2 hoppers. So what we've got, you'll notice, I won't lift it because I've got a load of stuff and crap on top. We've got a hopper for cereals, but we've also got a hopper for fertilizers. So this really goes down here and down there. Fertilizer and grain. So it sows grain the same as everything else. It's got a set of Suffolk coulters hiding under there. But what it's also got is a set of coulters that sows fertilizer. So you literally put 20-10-10, 25-55, whatever you want in there, and it works down the pipes, and it comes out in alternating coulters all the way along. So you can use it as a standard grain drill or as a fertilizer drill. My dad bought this new back in the early 70s, and he was a big advocate of this drill. Sowing with a combination, or a combine drill, not a combination, he would tell you that the results were virtually always better. And the way he would prove it, you will know yourself. If you've got some fertilizer that gets a bit lumpy and a bit wet, It's hard job to get it to flow down there and out through the coulter. The coulter will run empty, it will be blocked or whatever, especially if we're trying to sow in weather like what we have today, where it's a bit damp, a bit wet. It would be a bit of a pain in the bum to get the fertilizer to flow. That would show up in the crop. When the time came that the crop had come to a head, when the seeds were poking out the leg, there would be a marked difference in crop. You could see where each and every coulter was blocked. So that was proof of the pudding enough, really. It is a 8-foot, pretty standard drill, other than being a combine drill. It does get out every now and again, but the Amazon does now do the bulk of the work. And last but not least, we've got the Lely 7-foot mower conditioner, which is sat here, which was unhitched and is there waiting for more work come the summer. So there we are. I've given you a very quick tour around. Oh, and there's a topper. There's the 8-foot topper over there. So I've given you a very quick look around some of the tools I have. The important, in inverted commas, stuff are hidden behind that door there. The combines, the balers, the stuff that you would absolutely not want to leave out in this weather. They are safely undercover. Right then, on that note, I'm going to go and jump on the hedge cutter. That was a very whistle-stop tour of a little bit of the machinery that I have in my little agriculture contracting business. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice day. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.